Top of the morning to everybody. Okay, today I'm going to show you how to set up automated recordings using the Azure Control Room software, Python for scripting, Automator, and Calendar in order to schedule the items. Okay, this is kind of fun. All right, first off, let's go get the Azure Control Room software. So I already have it, but I'm going to show you where to get it. If you go to azure.com, go to supports, downloads, and then you find your capture card or capture device that you have. The one I have is a 3G, and when I click on software and I download the software installer here, when I click on this, it gives me the ability to install the software. And when I do get the software, it's up here under, it'll come up under Azure Control Room itself. You'll have the control panel, the Adobe and Avid utilities, should you have those things, the Azure utilities here, and Wirecast utilities, should you install those things. Those are new. I haven't even tried any of those, but those are new. But the control room comes with your Kona card, and you download it, and it's a pretty neat little app. Okay, Python. You won't need to download and install it. Let me show you what it is. If you open up your terminal and you type Python, it'll show you the current version of Python that's running. The version I have, the default version, is 2.7.6, and this comes with every Mac. So your Mac has Python installed. But it has the 2.7.6 version. And that's all fine, and it works. The thing is that you don't have an editor. So what I have done was I went to python.org, went to downloads, and you can go to Python 3.4.3. And if you download that, I'll show you the package. If you download and install the Python package, it will also install something called Idle, which is a Python editor. Okay? And then Automator comes with every Mac, and Calendar comes with every Mac. Okay, let's start with Azure Control Room. Okay, we open this up. And the first thing I'm going to go to is my preferences. Okay? And when I bring up the preferences window, I will go to scripting, and I will enable the scripting server. I'm going to leave the scripting server at 8080 or at the port at 8080. You can change it if you want, and when you do change it, you need to make sure you change it within your Python scripts as well. But right now I'm just going to leave it here. The scripting tutorial won't take you anywhere, so I don't even worry about it. And then in general, you have to make sure that you have this hold onto device when app is in background. If you don't have that, whenever the app comes up and Automator decides to do something else, or your script decides to do something else, it will stop your capture. So you want to make sure that this holds onto the device all the time. Okay. Now these are checked on by default. I turn them off. The stop capture on drop frame and stop playback on drop frame, I turn those off. And I keep these off too because I don't really care if the clips are over here. I don't want them to load every single time this opens. On capture path, you want to make sure you have a large and fast video drive. Mine is set to Ang Video, which is a RAID 0 drive using 3 drives, and it has about 9 terabytes. Now, once I'm done, I'm going to move these files somewhere else. And I won't take care of that in this tutorial, but I do plan on doing that. Import path, I use the same path. It's no big deal. And just so you know, so you can see, Ang Video has 1 file in it right now, which I'm going to toss. It doesn't need to be there. Okay, so let's close this. Here we can change our file type. Right now it's a .mov file, which is what I want. But you can do a DPX or a Targa file. Targa will give you a series of images, so I don't know if you necessarily want to do that. Here you pick your codec. I chose Apple ProRes 422. It's the lightest and most usable codec for what I want to do, and since I edit in 422 natively, this is the best codec for me. Okay, and then the audio codecs, you can pick whatever you want. I think 16-bit BE PCM is fine. It's not the greatest, but I usually don't use the audio, and it's CD quality, so it's not that big of a deal. All right. And then here you make sure that this is checked. Now, every time it comes up, this will always be checked. You can check these and put information in them if you want, but this one I want checked all the time. All right, cool. So let's quit that. Oh, yeah, this is in the capture window. In the playback window, you'll get different things. Edit to tape, you'll get different things. All right, so I want it on capture. Okay, I'm going to quit this. Okay, now let's show you my scripts. Now, on the Asia site, actually, maybe I should show you where to download this too, because this is really cool. Okay, if you go to Asia Control Room, and you can see it's here, Products, EN, Products, Asia Control Room, Support. If you click on Support, you go down here to Software, or no, Documents, Example Python Scripts. So if you click that and download this, this will give you a whole bunch of little scripts that you can use. Now I'm going to show you, I moved them from my downloads folder to a different place. I moved them into my home folder under Python. And I have all these different scripts that I can use. Now they have a test capture script. And what this does is it captures 1 second of a clip. And if I open it, this shows me what my script looks like. Now, what I've done is I've modified my scripts, or I've modified this script to create my scripts. So this is one of mine. And it's exactly the same as theirs. The only difference that I have is I have changed the seconds, because theirs only records for 1 second. And I've changed the name. So the file name will be different. Theirs will say test clip, mine will say promos on this particular script. My other scripts are all exactly the same. They just have different second amounts and different name. This is where you would change your port if you wanted to. And if you had a different server, you could change it too, but this is just where you'll do it. All right, so those are the scripts themselves. We're actually going to modify these scripts right now. And the reason I'm going to do this, okay, remember this one's 5,400 seconds. I'm going to change it to 10. Whoops. The reason I'm going to do this is because when I create the automation the first time, 5,400, 4,200, and I think the other one's 2,400. Okay. What happens is, as soon as I save it, it starts acting the event, and when it does that, it kind of messes things up. So I don't want it to record for 90 minutes right now. I don't have that kind of time in this tutorial to let you watch that. So this is what we're going to do. So what I've done is I've changed them now to 10 seconds each. So it'll just record for 10 seconds and stop, and you get to see what's going on. Okay, we're going to open an Automator. Sometimes it comes up with a new thing, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm going to say File New. And we're going to make a calendar alarm. Okay, and in this calendar alarm, you have this library of all these different things you can do, but we don't need to do a lot. So I'm going to search for APPL for application. I want this calendar alarm to launch and quit an application. So I'm going to throw in launch application, quit application. And then I want it to run a shell script. And I also want it to pause to allow the application to open. Okay, now let's go through each of these steps. I want it to launch the application of Asia Control Room. I want it to pause, I'll say pause for 15 seconds while the thing opens up. I'm going to run a shell script. Now this is a script that has to be done kind of exactly. So here are my scripts. I need to go cd and then put in a path because it has to change that path. If it doesn't change to that path, it doesn't always work. So I'm going to change directory, and I just grab this path and drop it in there, and it throws it in there. And then this one will do promos. So this is how I'm going to run a Python script. .promos.py or ./promos.py. Then once that Python script is done, it's going to quit Asia control room, and it won't ask to save changes. All right. So now let's save it. File, save. Promos. Okay, you can see it starting. It came up on the calendar. It started up Asia control room. And it should start recording in just a couple of seconds now. And it'll record for 10 seconds, and then it'll quit. Okay, it's done. Maybe I should make it pause for a little bit. I don't know. It kind of quits abruptly. But here's my recording. Not too bad. Okay. Now, I don't want this to hit at 10:57 every morning, so this is what I want it to do. I want this one to come in at 05:59 a.m. And I want it to repeat every single day. Okay? That's good. Okay, next. Let's go ahead and quit control room. Oh, this is still running. It thinks it's trying to do something. Good. I don't want it to do that. Okay, let's go here again, create a new one, and we're going to do the same thing, another calendar alarm. And we will search for APPL and grab launch application, quit application, run a shell script, and pause. Now I could copy and paste these things, but I want to do this over and over so that you can kind of get the gist of what's going on. 15 seconds, turn this off, CD. Where's my Finder? Oh, it closed everything here. All right, this time I'm going to do 5:30. Okay. We want to change this to Asia control room. Okay, good. Now we're going to save it. Yeah, we'll replace it. Okay, so while it does this little thing here, I'm going to go in here. And sometimes my events don't come up when I do that. I don't know why, but no big deal. Double click it. Let's change it to 05:25 p.m. And we want it to repeat every day. No, not every day. Let's not repeat every day. Let's do a custom weekly and do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for this one. And we will apply it. And look, it recorded my news 5:30 as well. Okay. So that's good. Next. New calendar alarm. Launch application, quit application, run shell script. Pause. I don't think I had the other one for 15 seconds. I'm not sure. We grab in the path and we type /news 11p.py. That's the exact script that's going to run. Asia control room or Asia control room, however you want to pronounce it. And we will save it as news 11 p.m. Here it comes. While it's doing that, I will adjust the actual calendar item. And we will do it at 10:58 p.m. And we will repeat custom weekly every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And we will change it for all and apply it. All right, so those are our actions. Okay, and if we look here, we've got all three of these captures now because of what it did. And we'll toss them. No big deal. Okay, let's go back to our scripts. Promos.py. I don't know why I did that. Okay, this was 5,400 seconds. News 5:30. I forgot how long. I think it was 4,200. But let's see. I want it to go 70 minutes instead of 60. Yep, 4,200. 4,200 seconds. And 11p was 2,400. All right, so that's good. Now, the reason I had it start 5 minutes earlier is because I wanted it to capture everything, because we actually start a couple of minutes earlier than the top of the hour. So that should be able to do what I needed to do. Now, there's one more thing that I wanted to show you guys. When you do modify the script and you change it, it's going to show you that there's an error every single time. And how we fix this is we have to chmod the file. And all you do is type chmod 755, and this will give it really good permissions. And you grab the file that you want to modify and drop it in there and enter, and that's it. Okay, so if I were to change this script, let's say I was to make it go for 3,600 seconds and call it Snoopy. And file, save as Snoopy. Okay, if I tried to run this script in terminal, see how you don't see the same thing? So if I try to run this script in terminal, it tells me, oh, wait. Let's do this. Okay, now let's try to run it. If I try to run it, oh. Okay, so if I try to run this script in terminal, okay, so if I try to run this script in terminal, I get permission denied. And the reason being is because the permissions on this are different from the permissions on these other ones now. So here's how I'm going to fix that. Once I open up terminal, I'm going to type chmod 755 and I just drop that in there. Now if I go to that path and I type the name of the script, now it's going to give me a bunch of stuff because Aja control room is not open, but this means it works. Okay, if I were to open Aja control room, it would work. It would start recording for me, and it would call it Snoopy. So let's try it out. So see how it's recording now? I forget how many seconds I had to go. I think I said like 40 minutes or something. Okay. So that's done. And if I go to Ang Video and look, I have a Snoopy movie. All right, cool. So that's how you automate using, or automate recordings using Aja control room. So what I taught you was a little bit of Aja control room, a little bit of Python script, not much, just kind of how to modify a script that was already given to us by Aja. How to do a couple of things in Automator and attach them to a calendar. All right, and I'm going to cross my fingers that it works because sometimes it doesn't work, but for the most part it does pretty good. All right, I'd like to thank you very much for watching.